So to wrap up the stream today, I want to go over all the Forex ideas. That way everybody understands where the entry signals on the Asfx edge were today on EURGBP, on EURAUD, on EURUSD even. We have something to talk about. We're going to look over at GBPCHF. We're going to look at GBPUSD and GBPJPY. Okay. First, we're going to start with EUROGBP. So we're looking at the 15-minute time frame. As you can see, this move has extended really nicely now on its way up to average daily range of about 52 pips. So here, the knocks on this setup are pretty significant, but I don't think it keeps you fully out of the trade. I know a lot of guys that are already in this trade that have made good money on this today. So first, you see the 3-candle formation, that right leg coming off the 50, coming off the 21 EMA, extending higher than the consolidation started. So that's a strong right leg. Market sentiment today is very bullish, so that feeds the long bias after moving up yesterday through ADR. So you're keeping the same bias, not looking for reversals. But you do have yesterday's high as a resistance zone in your way that it rejected yesterday afternoon and already twice today before the entry. And you also have bearish divergence on top in your way. But if you knock both of those, as I've shown here in my notes, you could still take this as a trade, as an A1 entry. Notice the next bar stays bullish. That's great. That's exactly what you would want to see. And the next bar breaks out for a new high of day. That's beautiful. So it ends up holding the 8 EMA, as you can see, really, really nicely. And now it's almost at ADR. Notice how it breaks that zone at yesterday's high and the divergence, retests it, holds the 8 EMA, and then makes the full move up. If you look at the 1 minute, market sentiment from the entry point here on the 1 minute has held the buy zone very nicely to give you that first extension up. Break, retest, and then it moves up. Notice also on the 1 minute, you've got bullish divergence here. That feeds it to almost be like a D1 into an A1. So it's a really solid trade. Now you see the inverse of this on GBPUSD. So I like this trade on EG today, but I like GBPUSD even better as this extends even lower. Now 6.8R, just a really nice rip here. So if you look at the 15-minute, you can see yesterday we moved lower, of course, because it's the inverse of EUROGBP. You have bullish divergence on the bottom here. As you can see, if you use yesterday's RSI low and you match it up to today's RSI low, you can see that that is bullish divergence. However, market sentiment is very bearish today. You're going to keep that bias because we're under the 50 EMA. You're also under yesterday's low at the time of you getting this entry signal, and now it's pushing to almost 7R with only a 10-pip stop. So the entry here comes as a D1 into this A1 shift candle on the 15-minute. You're going to use that shift candle right here as your stop loss because we know where the stop should go. So your stop goes at the, at the open price of the shift candle, which is right here off the 21. But if you go to the 1 minute, you've got bearish divergence. If you blow up this RSI, you'll see that that RSI is just slightly falling while price is rising on the 1 minute. So that sets up the bearish divergence. It shifts down here where this vertical line is, and then it does our favorite D1 entry where it breaks back through the 50 EMA and then comes back down through it with the market sentiment in the sell zone. And now, as long as market sentiment holds the sell zone, this will continue lower. It breaks up into the buy zone, the market sentiment line for a quick second here, but price holds the 50, and then it continues now, holding that 8 EMA on the 15-minute beautifully. So this is a D1 off the 50 EMA into an A1 shift candle. Those are powerful trades. We have tons of markups on that we teach in the course, that I share in the course, that I share in our Facebook and our Discord chat. Tons of markups showing the power of the D1 on the 15 and 1 minute into the 15-minute shift candle and how well it can hold that 8 EMA. Now, this happens at the same time as GBPJPY throws a shift candle here on the 15-minute. I didn't like this one as much, first, because if you look at the 1 minute, there is no bearish divergence. So you're not getting D1 into A1, you're just getting an A1. So naturally, that would push me more towards GBPUSD. And also, if you look at GBPJPY, market sentiment is bearish. Your divergence from yesterday, as this RSI is rising and price is falling, created a support zone at yesterday's low that was rejected multiple times, and you would be trading short into that zone. Where if you look at GBPUSD, like I said, you were under yesterday's support at yesterday's low, so that's even better. So not only do you get both entry signals on the 50 on GBPUSD, but you're also in a better structural position for price to move lower on GU rather than GJ. They're both entries. I would just favor GU. You get the D1 and the A1 versus just the A1 shift candle here on GBPJPY. Now, GBPCHF is continuing down here off this 2-candle formation recently, just about 15 minutes ago, trading into this bullish divergence. But look at the market sentiment line. Still bearish today from the down move yesterday where James and Dennis, I know a lot of guys made money short here yesterday while I was buying EURAUD. And now this looks like it wants to continue. So if you were still in the trade from yesterday, which I think James is, it's 140 pips. It's a really nice swing trade. It's a day trade. turned into a swing trade. And just look at the market sentiment line. From the start of the day yesterday, all week, market sentiment has been bearish. These are the weeks where you look back and you're like, how did I miss trades that week? You don't. If you understand the A1 and the D1, you'll take advantage of this short bias trend. It's very simple. Now, we have EURNZD on the watch list as well. It's just now breaking out past this resistance here. If you look at the 1 minute, see if we have any bullish divergence, because I don't think we do. If we do, it's very slight. Yeah, so see in here, you could look at this as a D1. I just think there's way better opportunities today. But coming off that 50 EMA, there it breaks the 50. So now you'd be looking for that 50 EMA retest with that market sentiment in the buy zone to look for this to come higher. Now, go to EURUSD. This is presented an entry. I was really short biased from here off the 200 EMA today because that was Thursday's low. That was a key level that we broke. Now that we were under it, I figured we could come off of it today because market sentiment was in the sell zone. Market sentiment started the day in the buy zone. It is a swapping liquid 50, and you'll see that in my notes. And that's why I didn't take this big 3 candle formation today. It also not only was a swapping liquid 50, you've got divergence at the current low of day in your way, and you've got yesterday's low in your way. And it was an overextended entry candle. It was the biggest body of the day. So those 3 things in our system, in the Asfx systems that I teach in the courses, those 3 things are what we call knocks against the trade, and that's why I'm not in this. There's a lot of situations where the knocks against the trade, you'll get 3 of them, and you won't take the trade, and it'll be a loser, and you'll be like, great, I'm glad I didn't take that. But there's also trades where you're going to knock against it, give it a C setup, and it still falls a little bit or a lot of it in your favor. You can't be in every trade idea that you generate. You've got to be able to find the highest probability trades. With 3 knocks against it, if you took 10 trades with 3 things wrong with it, 7 or 8 of them are going to be losers. This happens to be one of the few that still looks like it's a winner right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's still important to stick to the checklist. And then today on EURAUD, like I said, because I had the position on from yesterday back here, it popped through ADR yesterday, but we found a lot of resistance to yesterday's high. Still bullish. Market sentiment still holding the buy zone, still making higher lows. From here in the Asian session, here in the London session, higher low again here in the New York session. And on the 1 minute today, you've got bullish divergence here with the 1 minute market sentiment in the buy zone now telling me that this looks like it wants to come higher. And you've got multiple sets of 1 minute bullish divergence, which has really been saying, even if it pulls back a little bit, this probably wants to come higher today, keeping that bias from yesterday. So I'm still in this trade. My stop loss is at the low of day at 160. 1.6040, 1.6041, right there is where my stop is at this pin. And I'm letting this thing ride into tomorrow and even into Thursday. Why not? If it wants to turn into a multi-day swing trade, I'm not going to say, oh, it has to stop here. I'm going to react, not forecast, and just let the trade continue, take profit, and move my stop. And in the words of Tom Basso, I'm going to just continue to enjoy the ride. So that was all the ideas that we had this morning, the high probability ideas. You've got EURGBP here. You've got EURUSD with a kind of good idea, but really a C setup. Nothing on EURNZD that's enticing. You've got the move here on GBPCHF that looks like it wants to continue lower. I'm watching this to see what it does with the bullish divergence today. I don't know if that's going to send it lower for you, Dennis, but I hope it does. But I think the trade of the day, it's either EG, GU, or GJ. Really, GU and EG are the 2 that I like the best. You got D1 into A1 on both of those trades. Remember, you got 15-minute A1 shift candles. You got 1 minute divergence. You've got 1 minute retests for that safe entry that we talked about in the D1 deep dive. And then same thing here. You've got 1 minute divergence on the bottom of EG. You've got the 50 EMA retest with the L50 in the buy zone here. It's the same thing, just an inverse. So I think that's where the money is today. EG, GU. There's still money in EA probably as this comes higher into the afternoon. There was still money in GJ. But those are the pairs that I would have been most focused on today. EURUSD with that C setup, you don't need that. There's higher probability trades here with less things wrong with it. Those are the ones that should have your money. So if you were in any of these trades today, rewatch this little clip. Think about the entries that you took, see if they align with where I see the ASFX edge best. And then, if you were in the best trades, make sure you mark those up, save them, study them, because when they present again, no hesitation, you got to be ready to take it. So if you guys want any more information on the courses, on how to identify the A1, the D1, and the D2, all you got to do is click the link in the description. You can read testimonials from real traders. You can hear about the beginner course. You can hear about the advanced course. And together they make the starter pack, which is always where I tell everybody to start, because then you get access to the Discord, the Facebook for life. It's one-time fee, no membership fees, none of that stuff. You get in, you learn the systems, and you start trading them and making money with us. So that was the Forex side of things today. Bitcoin is down 3.5%. We talked about Bitcoin earlier in the stream. We're going to let that thing simmer today. Like I said, I think we're going to be probably closer to 20,000 than 30,000 by this time next week. So we'll continue to watch that, continue to keep an eye there. But overall today, a really solid trading day. From yesterday, we had a couple of good ideas. still in the position on Euro AUD. You've got more good trading ideas today. There's really good trades out there. You just got to know how to find them. And that's where the ASFX systems come into play. So I appreciate you guys being here for me.